If your code works, you probably think your job is done. And that exact mindset is what quietly stops you from becoming a professional developer. Welcome to TechCraft Mentors. Today, we begin a journey of writing clean and meaningful code. Most developers write code just to make it work. Martin Fowler says on this, "Any fool can write code that a computer understands. Good programmers write code that humans understand." This doesn't mean doing extra work. It simply means thinking differently while writing the same code. So, what does thinking differently actually mean in practice? It means writing your code for the next person who will read it. That reader could be your teammate, a new joiner. Since software development is collaborative efforts, professional software demands more than just correctness. That's why clean code isn't just a skill, it's an attitude. You're not just writing code, you're communicating through it. Now let's see what exactly is clean code. Clean code clearly conveys its intent. When we read code, can we immediately tell why the code exists? What problem is it actually solving? If the answer is no, then the code is hiding its intent. When someone reads the code, they should immediately understand what task it performs and how without asking questions. So how does code convey its intent? Through self-explanatory and meaningful variable names, function names. Even conditions and loops can all be written in a way that explains themselves. But clean code avoids comments by making the code itself expressive. Now I'll share a few guidelines for creating meaningful, self-explanatory variable names. Understand the idea and apply it to make variable names meaningful. The first rule is simple. Use nouns, not actions. Variables store things or information. They don't do anything on their own. Customer address, products are some good names, whereas process data, handle amount are bad names as it does not convey what is it going to store. The second rule is use intention revealing names. Under this, use names from your business domain because that's how domain experts describe a system. When your variables use business terms, the code reflects business behavior, not a developer's implementation, and it becomes much easier to search and modify when requirements change. Some variable names in finance domains are invoice amount, payment due date, credit limit. Rule number 3, provide context to variables if variable alone is not clear. Imagine a variable named amount. It's generic and doesn't tell you what the amount represents. Rename it to invoice amount, refunded amount, or overdue amount, and the meaning becomes immediately clear. Rule number 4, clear distinction between variable having single or multiple values. Use singular names for variables that store a single value, and plural names for variables that store multiple values. Simply adding s or es is enough. Variable name employees is better than employee list. Rule number 5, use pronounceable names. Variable naming is about clear communication. If a name doesn't read smoothly, it becomes irritating. If you can pronounce it, you can read it, and you can easily discuss it with others. Variable name person name is better than PRSN name, and total amount is better than TTLAMT. Rule number 6, describe limits, unit, action wherever required. When you name a variable that stores a value with a unit, include the unit in the name. It makes things precise. Variable name, max retry count, clearly tells it stores the maximum retry count. Timeout in seconds tells the timeout is measured in seconds. Distance in cam tells the distance is in kilometers. This not only makes the variable self-explanatory, but also helps during condition checks like if timeout in seconds is in seconds, but another variable stores time in milliseconds. Because the names include units, you won't forget to convert milliseconds to seconds before comparing. It will avoid a bug right there. Another powerful technique in naming variables is using question-style names. If a variable represents a yes/no status, eligibility, permission, or some condition, naming it like a question makes it instantly clear. Here are some names which will give you the complete idea. The names are is payment done, has outstanding balance, can generate invoice, is prime customer, should send reminder. These variables read almost like English sentences, making the meaning obvious. Now it's time for the activity. Here few variable names are given. read the variable name, and check which naming rule is being followed for naming it. You can pause the video, and once the activity is completed, resume watching. I know, absorbing all these guidelines would take time. Until then, I want to share one simple trick. If you use it, you'll start coming up with good variable names almost automatically. Step 1. Write why or for what you're creating the variable in a full sentence using business language. For example, suppose I want a variable to store the time passed since a case was created. I first write in plain English and as simple and explanatory as possible. This variable is going to store the time passed since the case was created. Now step 2. Pick the important business or domain-related words from that sentence. These words describe what the variable represents. In this example, the words would be time, past, since case, and created. Step 3. Construct the variable name using these words. The order doesn't have to be the same. Choose a combination that is readable, easy to pronounce, and clearly explains the purpose. One possible name is time passed since case created. Another option could be elapsed time since case created, where elapsed time conveys the same meaning as time passed. Yet another good option is time since case created. It doesn't use all the words, but it still clearly explains the intent. If you ever struggle to find a good name, rewrite the sentence again using business language and repeat the same steps. Initially, you may feel it like a lot of work, but you don't have to do this for every variable. And after a few iterations, you won't need to write the sentence at all. You'll form it mentally as with practice. Your subconscious builds a checklist that you start following automatically. We started this journey with a simple idea. Clean code is not about doing extra work. It's about thinking differently. In this video, we focused on variable naming because names are the first and most frequent way we communicate intent in code. When variables are named well, the code starts explaining itself. We don't need comments. We don't need guesswork. The intent is visible right where it matters. Remember, these are not rules to memorize overnight. With practice, good naming becomes natural, almost automatic. In the next part, we'll move one level higher. Functions, where naming, structure, principles, and practices have an even bigger impact on readability, maintainability, and design. See you in part 2. Thanks for watching. Keep learning, keep improving, and apply what you learn to grow in your professional journey. Your journey with TechCraft Mentors continues.